Hey, good life riders, welcome back to another video. This week we are talking about the Insta360 and the GoPro Max editing footage on your phone. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey, so as we start this video, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the footage. I wanted to do some side-by-side comparisons this weekend with the Insta360, which I'm shooting on right now, and the GoPro Max. But as I set up my footage on the Insta360, it happened to be in time-lapse mode. So what you're going to get from the Insta360 this week is time-lapse mode, and the GoPro Max is going to be regular mode. And I want to show you the way the footage works when using your phone. And then on the phone, I'm using an Android phone, and I'm using the Insta360 app and also the GoPro Quick apps. So hope you enjoy this, and hopefully this helps you in understanding a little bit more about how the footage edits and helping you decide which camera you would like. I personally think they're both really good cameras, and that's why I'm not comparing, well, this is how this footage looks and this is how this footage, and let's compare them side by side. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that in the future, but I think both of them are high quality cameras, and the footage I've gotten from both of them on my different times using them has been excellent footage. I will say I think the zooming function on the Insta360, the footage turns out a little bit better than on the GoPro. But that's, we're splitting hairs when we get down to that kind of stuff. But for general YouTube type footage or just for general ride type footage, both of these cameras give excellent results just as a whole. But there are some things that I like better about the control of the GoPro 360, and that's why I purchased that camera. But I want to give you a good review from both sides using the two so you can decide which is the best for you. Okay, so once you bring up the footage, it shows you all of your different videos. And then if we go into one, so let's pick this one here. When we go into it, it will start out in whatever way it's facing. You can turn it to how you want it to face. You can then hit down here at the bottom the little plus sign, and it makes a key marker. That key marker then allows you to set up different kinds of setups. So we could start out as a tiny planet. Go to tiny planet, and as we play, see it comes in. I've got 3 key markers in here. At each one, it has a different setting. So then we can continue the video, and we can then set another key marker. And as we do that, the nice thing that they've done in the change in this footage is I can work with the footage from the card. Sometimes it'll give me some errors, but the connection seems to be a lot stabler than it was before. So I can work with this footage without having to download it to my phone, and it actually makes it quite a bit faster. Than it used to be. And then, so there I made a move, and if I want to go back and change my camera angle when we make that turn, So I can then set my key. I'll change to my direction that I want it, and I'll zoom in a little bit. And there it's set it. So then I can go back, we'll go back to this part here, and I'll notice it says it'll be smoother if you make that, but it doesn't do a bad job. With that. And then I can make my turn there. Update it. And continue on. So it's really easy. It wasn't as easy before. I can change my filters. I can add music. I can change my setup. I can change the speed. So I can make it a faster or slower. I can take a snapshot of what it is. I can add in filters, and I can download that whole footage. But it actually works really fast this way. And let's say, okay, so let's take this first 12 seconds of this video and let's export it out really quickly, just so you can see how that works. So there's our trim. We've trimmed down that footage to be little, and then I'm going to export it with the top up there, and I tell it export it as a 360 or flat. I'm going to turn on and remove my grain and give it a little bit better color. Sometimes this helps with your stitching, and I'll show you that. But you can see here the export is extremely, it's actually really a lot faster than it used to be. If I download this footage to my phone first, that's where it seems to take a long time. But working with it, and I don't know how it's doing it, if it keeps the file on here, but it puts some version of it on here for you to edit with. I don't know. If it just does caches, I'm not 100% sure, but it works a lot faster and a lot more like the way the GoPro footage is. So we will switch over to the GoPro footage after this exports. You can see it's, we're talking what, maybe a minute or so. You can see how that changes, and we'll switch over to how the GoPro footage interacts, and you'll be able to see how much alike they are. And now we have it exported, and it gives us options for where we can share it to. I can share a link with it on my Insta360, or I can actually go to my phone, and there it has that footage exported out to my phone album. And I can share it that way with my social medias if I want to. So now let's go to the GoPro footage, and you can see how much it's very much the same. So it was much faster working with this app and bringing them from the GoPro than working with the Insta360 and wirelessly moving files. It took forever doing that, so I stopped doing that and only working with the Insta360 app videos on my phone. But I will show you here, that's a minute 20-second video, and you can see it kind of takes a little bit for it to bring it. But if I go down here and say import into my phone, if you can see there, it says it's going to take 28 seconds to bring that file into my phone, which is a lot faster than what it would have taken to do that on the Insta360 app. So then, once it actually goes and brings it into the app, you can work with it on the app. But the one thing I have found, so there it shows you it's done. It gives you view your media. So now we're going to go and look at that one file. And if you see here, it shows us we have two files on our app. This is a 360 video, And here it shows the different things I can do with it. So I can shorten it. I can go and make key marks on it. I can grab a photo shot, or I can delete it. I can grab a snapshot of the video, or I can delete it. So we're going to play around with this video a little bit. And as you can see, when I bring it in, it gives me quite a little bit, a great view, I think. I like the view. If I go here to trim it, the way that works is once you find the spot where you're going to trim and you get, let's say, okay, I think I'm going to start at 5 seconds, and you tap on the X, and then you go to however far it is that you're wanting to go. It doesn't give you any indication how much you're trimming. So then you don't know how long it takes to trim. I've had one time where it actually told me, and I haven't been able to find that again. So then once you pick out that period that you're going to trim, you say, save the new clip, and then it actually goes in and it exports that clip out as a separate clip from that original 1 minute 20-second clip. So for example, if you're wanting to do Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, and you want to take an 8-minute video that you had and shorten it down to 30 seconds or a minute or 15 seconds or whatever, it's actually very quick to be able to do that. Now, once you have that footage, it brings you into kind of the editor. So then I'm going to go back and show you the 3 files that it has. So now it has a minute 20 file, the minute 4 from what I exported before, and it has a 3-minute file that I did. And so we'll take this minute 4, one that we're going to use for an edit that we want to put on a reel. So when we go into that and we say we want to choose how our footage is set up to change it from a 360 video to a regular flat video, I can choose how I want my setting to be, and then you tap down here at the bottom, and that is a key. But if you set that and then you say, I don't like that view, I want to change it a little bit, you can make that change and then do it, and then you can play the footage along and see how it goes. And then if you want to change the view, you just move it around and set your changed view, and then play on more. Now, 2 aspects that are a little bit of a challenge with the GoPro Max compared to the Insta360. I think you can see it here. So where the 2 cameras stitch together, you can see here that stitch is showing up in the video. And when I play it, you can kind of see how it moves around where that stitch is. The GoPro Max does not do as good of a job stitching together the 2 different cameras as the Insta360. That is the one downside that I have for this, is where it does the stitch doesn't always bleed together as well. So the other aspect in the editing is you can choose how you want the transition to occur. So there you see it just did a quick snap between those 2. If I go back to this, I'll go back to that first one and show that I want it to be a linear movement. So then what it's going to do in that case, when we play, see how it slowly moves to my other direction? And you can choose different types of cuts. So here I want it to be an instant snap. Boom. So you can make those changes on how you want your transitions within the app to be. So here's the other thing you can do is I can go here. I can touch down here on this part and I can choose the ratio. So if I don't want it to be a 9:16 and I want it to be a 16:9, I tap that and it changes what my view of my setup is. So that is the way that you change between those two views, which is actually a little bit easier in this than it is in the Insta360. Hey, so I wanted to give you a little bit of information on the PC side of it as well, because that's probably where you'll be editing more often if you're doing any kind of long-term type editing. Like I said, long footage over 2 minutes, for sure, is very painful to do on the phone itself. So if you want to be able to do longer footage, you're going to want to edit on a PC, and I'm going to show you using the native apps, the Insta360 Studio 2021 and the GoPro Player, how to edit 360 footage next week. So come back next week and we will talk about that. If you like this footage, or if you like this video, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe, because we got a lot more cool stuff coming up. Not just Insta360 stuff, but some new ride stuff too. And we got to get back to our Sturgis videos and our Daytona and a 1K in a day trip I did. So we have a lot of great stuff still coming just from this year. So till next time, keep the sunny side up, keep the rubber side down, and have an utterly awesome day.